Hey, welcome back to another episode of Simple Truth Television. Today is November 29th, 2020. Um, just wanted to make this video before I go to bed. It's a little bit late here in New York City, but somebody pointed this out to me earlier today and I just had to cover it because this is just unbelievable, man. Here we have another dead rapper in the headlines. Another one. Oh my goodness. This is probably, I don't know, this is like the 70th rapper this year that has been murdered. And it's just so sad that every time I make these videos, so many people who probably come here for the first time, they start to troll the information that I'm giving out. Instead of, sharing the work, discussing it with friends, you know, sending the videos, putting the videos on their platforms, on their social media. Instead of doing that, they run to the comment section and start to troll the information. This stuff is really, really important because it's because of those type of reactions why this stuff continues to go on. How many more rappers have to die in connection to the same numbers? How many more rappers have to die in connection to the same numbers? How many more? I've made about 10 videos this month speaking about this particular number right here, number 38. Especially when it deals with rappers. I can't begin to tell you how many rappers die in connection to the number 38. And you guys, just call this video conspiracy, you call me names and all that stuff. That's fine. You could do that. But that's not going to stop this from happening. What's going to stop this from happening is waking each other up. Doing some research. You don't have to believe any of the things that I'm about to say in this video. But, just do your own research. Stop believing what the media is telling you. They are lying to you. So the news is that this rapper who went by Little Yase or Little Yase, he was shot and killed on November 28th in San Francisco. And the headline says Little Yase or Little Yase. I'm not sure how to say it. Never heard of him before until now. But it says Little Yase dead. San Francisco rapper dies at 25. Another number that we talk about a lot here. The number 25. Little Yase, whose real name is Mark Anthony Yo Alexander, has died according to multiple of his friends' messages and posts on Instagram. He was 25. Heavy has reached out to his record label 420 Highway Productions for a comment on Saturday afternoon. They thank fans for all the love and messages of supporting on Instagram. If you further read the reporting, they talk about how he was shot and killed. Notice here it says Yase was shot and killed on the morning of November 28th, sources told TMZ. However, the questions of how and why remains a mystery. Not really, because this video is going to expose what really happened to Little Yase. The rapper was last seen hanging out with his crew at the recording studio in Marin County, but left on his own around 11:30 p.m. He told his buddies that he'll be right back. It's unfortunate. If his buddies would have knew the code of Gematria, they would have let him know that to be careful that day. But let's just review the past month. So recently we had the death of a Chicago rapper who went by King Von. And notice his name sums to 38. Another rapper shot and killed. Earlier this year we had a rapper named Pop Smoke from New York City who was shot and killed in California in a robbery attempt. Notice Pop Smoke sums to 38. Recently we had another rapper. His name was Mo 3. And Pop Smoke died on February 19th. Mo 3 died on 11/6, or let me see. was actually 11/11 because it was 38 weeks after Pop Smoke. So let me just confirm it on Wikipedia. So yeah, so another rapper named Mo3 was shot and killed on a highway on November 11th. And notice, from the death of Pop Smoke, whose name sums to 38, to the death of this other rapper, Mo3, it's a span of 38 weeks on the nose. We also had a rapper from New York City. His name was King Face, whose name sums to 38. And look on Wikipedia. Just type in King Face. And just read the article. It says MAGA influencer King Face passes away at the age of 38. Was reportedly in a coma for months. He was in a coma for months. And then he just died mysteriously. Just like little Yase, who died mysteriously at the age of 25. So King Face, not only does his name sum to 38, but he dies at the age of 38. And he was a rapper who's, who has that 38 connection. So Pop Smoke, 38. King Von, 38. We have King Face, 38. Dies at 38. And then the Pop Smoke and Mo3, their deaths come 38 weeks apart. 38. And now we have another rapper from San Francisco whose name sums to 38. Little Yase. And, a lot of you may not know what the number 38 represents or connects to, right? In Gematria, which is a very simple practice, the practice of coding numbers into words, a very useful practice to learn. Something that is gonna give you a very different perspective on life. Everything that you're gonna see after learning this information is gonna be very different to every single one of you who take the time and learn this simple practice. This is just the alphabetic order, forwards and backwards. Every letter in the alphabet has a numerical value. Every single one. There's 4 ciphers. Actually, there's more ciphers, but these are the 4 that you need to know to really understand what's going on every day. Why are these rappers mysteriously disappearing? Why are they being shot at the age of 25? Why are their names summoned to 38? Well, murder is a word that sums to 38. It has other values, which are also important, which I'll discuss in this video. But it sums to 38. And for some reason, that's the number that we see the most in these rituals. Because that's what these are. These are ritual murders. I'll get into who's behind all this at the end. But the word death is also 38. Probably why they use the number 38 so often. Because not only murder is 38, but the word death is 38. The word killing, 38. R.I.P., which is short for rest in peace. Another word that sums to 38. There's other words that sum to 38 as well, like stroke, things that relate to death. Stroke is 38 as well. It's also 25 like death, right? Death is 25, right? Who knows? This rapper probably got a stroke after he was shot and killed by these sick individuals. But the word death is 25. This rapper dead at 25. Right? Very common number, 25 and 38. But let's take a look at the rest of this rapper's name. Notice his name in the 4 base ciphers. Little Yase sums to 83, just like murder. Also sums to 106. Number that we've seen a lot this year, right? The word black is 106. Black Lives Matter sums to 106. I Can't Breathe is 106. 43 like killing. The word killing sums to 43. And also Masonic. Masonic is a number that sums to 43. Notice the 29 as well, just like the rapper's name, right? can't leave out the 29 because killing a Masonic is 29 and 43. Well, it's 38 like his name, but it's also 43. So Masonic is 29 like the rapper's name. I looked on this rapper's social media, and I guess he was born on May 19th, because on May 19th, 2018, he made this post that says, "Thank God to see another day. You hear me? Tell nigga happy birthday if you fuck with nigga. I'm 600 years old." People say happy birthday to real nigga. He a real nigga. I guess wasn't a real nigga yesterday, but for the most of his life, he was a real nigga according to his social media. But he was born May 19th, and from his May 19th birthday, his 25th birthday, to the day that he was shot and killed on November 28th, he died 193 days after his birthday, and that's the 44th prime number. How many times have I spoken about the number 44 in connection to rappers and shootings? Notice shooting is 44, execution is 44. The word kill is also 44, which I'll get into. But this rapper, according to Heavy.com, he was born Mark Anthony Alexander. His name sums to 311, which is the 64th prime number. So he dies 193 days after his birthday, the 44th prime. And then he was born Mark Anthony Alexander, and his name sums to 311, the 64th prime. And what do we know about 44 and 64? The word kill has Gematria of 44 and 64. Right? How many times on dates with 44 and 64 numerology we hear about a suspicious deaths? Happens all the time. And of course, the 28 matters in kill because he died on the 28th of the month. This man was shot yesterday on November 28th. The 17 matters because rap is 17. This is a rapper dead in connection to these other numbers, right? Rap 17. Gematria, very important stuff. 193 days after this man's birthday. Man, if I was a rapper, I would definitely be on the lookout for. I'll have a bulletproof vest on. I won't tell anybody about it. If I was a rap, and I'll just wake up in the morning and I'll measure how many days after my birthday it's been. If somebody calls me up and says, meet me in the studio tonight, we're gonna make a song. I'm gonna look at the calendar. I'm gonna say, not today. Today is 193 days after my birthday. I gotta take care of my kids. I'm not gonna go outside today. Can you call me back tomorrow, maybe? That's what I'll be doing. Especially when somebody tells me to use a name that sums to 38. I'll be like, what? I don't want to call myself Little Yase. I probably want a different name because I learned on YouTube from a guy with a hat on that the number 38 is a very common number in rapper deaths. It's been happening a lot often in the headlines. So might not want to be called Little Yase. That's just me. But this rapper, the word kill is also 59. He died on a day with 59 numerology. But this rapper had a project that he released back in 2019. Notice the number 4 in bold letters. Those of you aware of this code and the knowledge that we put out every day, you know all about how the number 4 is associated with death. They had the 4 right in big, bold, red letters. There's something about how the number 4 is pronounced, just like how the word death is pronounced. I think it's in Chinese culture. I think that's what the connection to 4 and death is. But this project, notice the title of it, Sorry for the Heat. It sums to 201 and 84, just like the Jesuit order. And those are the people behind all these sick satanic rituals that are costing so many rappers their careers, their life at such a young age. I mean, Pop Smoke was 20 supposedly? King Face was 38, which is not old. 38 years old. This rapper's social media, he has some interesting numbers. I mean, 213 posts. The word death is 213. 121,000 followers. Blood sacrifice is 121. Not sure that's an accident, but the key points in this video is that this rapper, he died 193 days after his birthday, the 44th prime. Shooting, execution, and the word kill all sum to 44. So many black African American males, entertainers, they die in connection to the number 44. And they usually die in this fashion, in the shooting. You guys remember Stack Bundles, New York rapper? Name sums to 193 to 64th prime. So many. They go on for days. And notice how execution is 44, like I said, 193 to 44 prime. Execution is also 116, the day that Stack Bundles was killed. That was on June 11th, a date written 11/6, like 116. Martin Luther King died on April 4th, 4/4. Malcolm X died on the day with 44 numerology. The person that killed Malcolm X got 44 years in prison. Guy's name was, hopefully I spell it right, Thomas Hagen. Thomas Hagen. Guy that killed Malcolm X, his name sums to 44 as well. Barack Obama, the 44th president. He ran on hope, sums to 44. There was another rapper this year. His name was KJ Baller. Another rapper that died 193 days after his birthday. I just want to show you how consistent these numbers are. This is not just exclusive to Little Yase. Little Yase is just another example. KJ Baller, dead at 24. His birthday was July 21st. And he died 44 weeks after his birthday. Died on May 23rd, 2020. 44 weeks after his birthday. Kill. Shooting. Another rapper that was shot and killed. Execution. All 44. KJ Baller. So this is not a video targeting Little Yase. This is a video exposing the repetitiveness of this language that we talk about every single day. I guarantee you, watch the last videos that I made recently. 38. Talk about this number all the time. And something about his record company. I mean, the guy was signed to 420. What was it again? I mean, I'm telling you, these people don't pick their names. They don't pick the label that they signed to. These people are just put in place. So notice the label that he was signed. Excuse me. The label that he was signed to has some interesting numbers, right? Not only is it 420, like 42, number stamped on black people, but it sums to 257, and it has that 106 connection. And of course, the rapper that died, his name sums to 106. So the record company has that 106 and 257, and notice how blood sacrifice. 257. Right? So 257, blood sacrifice, and then the rapper with the 106 connection. And the 420 because he was a black man, and the N-word is 42. I could go on for days with the number 42, but slavery 42. These rappers are slaves to these record companies until the record company decides to execute them and their careers. And I guarantee you, now that this rapper is dead, none of you probably ever heard of him, but now that he's dead, you're gonna probably stream his music. And now the record company is gonna make a lot of money off this rapper because they probably couldn't make any money when he was alive. So this is a good way to make all the money that they invested into this rapper. They invest $1 million and he doesn't produce $1 million. You get rid of him at the age of 25, a lot of people are going to listen to his music. A lot of streams going to come in. And we're going to get that $1 million back. And it's going to be another opportunity for the black man to look like gang members and victims of shootings. I mean, how come rappers only get shot and killed? They don't die from natural causes like every other celebrity? I know a lot of you are going to say, well, they rap about this type of music. Well, Al Pacino makes gangster movies as well. Robert De Niro makes gangster movies as well. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he most of his movies is shootings and killing. So that's not a good reason for rappers to just get shot and killed in real life. Because actors, Denzel is a gangster actor. This is a gangster rapper, but Denzel is a gangster actor. Training Day, he was a gangster in that movie. American Gangster, he was a gangster in that movie. So there's a lot of actors who portray themselves as gangsters, just like how rappers portray themselves as gangsters. That's not a reason for you to get shot and killed every single time. How come rappers get shot and killed the most out of every other industry? Nobody's asking these questions. You guys gotta wake up. Stop trolling these videos. It's 4:40 in the morning. I'm not even going to sleep because, this stuff is important. I said, you know what? I'm gonna stay up a little bit late. I'm gonna make a video and expose the ritual killing of Little Yase. Because this is another example of all the stuff that I've been talking about. You know how many times I have to go on YouTube and read these negative comments of people trolling the videos that I make? These videos take me a long time to make. I'm putting my face out there. I'm letting people know about something that I learned. That I've noticed for myself that this is what's going on. I'm not a celebrity. I'm nobody. I'm somebody in my room with a laptop. You don't have to believe any of the things that I'm telling you. All I'm asking you guys to do is do the research on your own. That's it. Let's prevent the next rapper from dying. Let's do that as a community, though. Share this video. Tell people about this information. If you guys know this man's family, send the video to this man's family. Tell them to investigate. There's no reason the San Francisco Police Department doesn't know what happened to Little Yase. There's no reason why they don't know. And so many of these rappers' deaths, they go unsolved. I don't think they still don't know who shot Biggie or Tupac. That case is still cold. I don't know how, the technology that we now have. But rest in peace, Little Yase. And thanks everybody for tuning in.